Hello everyone, my name is Aljaji Sulaiman and we will discuss today is all about determining composite grade, and here is our objectives. So according to Marzano and Heflebauer 2011, a single omnibus grade used as a final mark for an academic area. For example, a student gets 85% in science, but that one grade represents many different skills and topics. A single grade is an inefficient indicator of diverse performance across standards. So, bakit nga ba ang single grade is inefficient? Because a single grade does not show how well the student performed in a specific standard. For example, understanding the concepts, lab skills, and problem solving. So, composite grade determined by combining scores from various individual assessment to create a comprehensive final mark. For example, quizzes, exam, projects, performance tasks, and homework. So, here the 3 steps to composite grade. 3 steps to determine final grades. The first is select what to include in the final grade. This step involves choosing which assessment results should count toward the final grade. So the goal is to include only evidence that shows the student's actual learning and achievement, such as tests, projects, performance tasks, and quizzes. The second is select weights for each individual assessment, the validity and reliability. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lahat ng assessment is nami-measure yung learning equally. So, some provide stronger and more reliable evidences, so they should count more. For example, final exam is 40%, project is 30%, quizzes 20%, and homework 10%. The third is combine weighted scores to determine a single grade, accurate calculation. So after weighting, the teacher mathematically combines the scores to produce one final grade. This process creates a grade that is accurate, fair, and representative of overall performance. So ang magiging result nito is a single grade na kung saan dito nagre-reflect kung ano ba yung mga natutunan ng student. According to Popham, stresses that grades should be valid, meaning they should accurately represent what a student has learned. To do this, teachers must include only evidences that directly measures the learning target, such as knowledge of the subject, skills being taught, performance on tasks or assessment. So, the factors unrelated to the achievement is the effort, behavior, attendance, and compliance. Popham believes grades should reflect what students have learned, not how well they behave or participate. According naman kay Macmillan recognized that in some schools, teachers may include non-achievement factors in grading, such as effort, improvement, and participation. However, Macmillan stresses the importance of evidence. He emphasized that grades should be based mainly on a variety of valid evidence of learning, not just one type of assessment. So, gina-encourage na yung mga teachers na mag-collect ng maraming evidences tulad ng tests, both formative and summative, products like project and reports, and performance or demonstration, observation of student work, or skills. So, Macmillan believes that while some non-academic factors may be considered, grades should primarily come from multiple, reliable sources that shows actual learning and achievement. According to Miller emphasized that a composite grade should be comprehensive, meaning it should represent the whole range of student learning, not just test scores. He believes grades should reflect three major learning domains: which is the cognitive learning, the affective learning, and psychomotor learning. In short, Miller believes composite grades should show a complete picture of student learning, including what they know, how they feel and engage, and what they can do. So here's what to include. Focus on measurable achievement. So do base final grades primarily on student performance and measurable achievements such as tests, major assignment, and more. Ito naman yung hindi natin dapat i-include, which is the effort, attitude, participation, and behavior should not affect final grades. They should be reported separately. And the last, current performance, rely mostly on current information. The most recent assessment is often the best indicator of current student learning. So here's the problem with non-academic factors. So non-academic factors such as effort, behavior, attendance, and attitude do not directly measure what a student has learned. They can be influenced by things outside of the school, such as home environment, personality traits, family responsibilities, health, or emotional issues. That's why they should be reported separately. So when non-academic factors are mixed into academic grade, the final score can become misleading. For example, a student know the content pero palaging absent. As a result, pababa yung grade niya. Or a student is behave well and participate but not understand the material, yet still receive a high grade. So the better approach is reporting non-academic factors separately from academic achievement gives a clear picture of what the student actually knows and can do, more accurate feedback for parents and students, and fairer grading. So let's proceed to the selecting weight. So professional judgment. So let's proceed to the selecting weight. So the first is professional judgment. Weights reflect the assessment validity on how well it measures the learning goal and reliability, how precise the measurement is. So when the teachers decide how much each assessment will count in the final grade, they use professional judgment. This means the weight should reflect validity and reliability. Validity is how well the assessment measures the learning goal. For example, a performance task may better show skills mastery than a short quiz. And the reliability, how consistent or accurate the results are. For example, a final exam is usually more reliable than a single homework score. So the second is align with instruction. Weight should also match how much time and emphasis the teacher spent teaching the subject or the topic. For example, a teacher spends 3 weeks on a major subject or 1 week on a short unit, then the project should count more towards the grade. This ensures the grade reflects what was most important in the learning. And the last one is consistency. So weights must be clear, fair, and communicated early. So the teacher should tell students and parents at the start of instruction on how each assessment will affect the final grading. So this helps the student understand expectations and avoid surprises. According to Popham believes that grading should be based on how important the learning target is. Meaning, if learning goal is major or essential, the assessment that measure it should have higher weight, or if a learning goal is minor, its assessment should count less. He warns teachers not to assign weights randomly or traditional, such as test is equal to 50%, project is equal to 25%, and homework is equal to 25%. Unless these numbers truly match what was taught and emphasized in class, weights must reflect actual instruction priorities, not habit or convenience. According to Macmillan believes that weighting should be based on the quality of assessment, not just importance. He says weight should reflect purpose of each assessment, quality of evidence, and reliability of the measure. In short, Popham weight based on importance of learning targets and instruction, while Macmillan weight based on purpose, evidence, quality, and reliability. Selecting weight. According to Miller believes that assessment weight should match the curriculum objectives and performance standards. This means that the parts of the grade that matter most should reflect on the most important learning goals. Less critical skills or topics should have lower weight. For example, if a science curriculum emphasizes lab skills, then the lab assessment should count more than simple worksheets. Miller advocates that teachers should have a clear, transparent weighting system. So, dapat alam na ng mga student mo in advance kung ano yung mga type ng assessment na ipapagawa mo, like tests, projects, homework, and performance tasks that will affect their final grade. This ensures the fairness, clarity, and the consistency in grading. Let's proceed to the combining weighted scores. So, weighted categories assign a percentage weight to different types of assessment. For example, test is equal to 50%, projects is equal to 30%, and the homework is equal to 20%. Preferred in electronic grade books because it clearly shows how much each category contributes to the final grade. Ensure that more important categories have a bigger impact on the final grade. And total points, kailangan mo lang i-add yung lahat ng scores from all assessment to get a final grade. For example, if a student scores 45/50 on a test and 18/20 on a project, the total is 63/70 is equals to 90%. The advantages is easier to manage extra credit. The disadvantage naman is doesn't always reflect the true importance of different tasks if some are more significant than others. The last is best practice. Convert all scores to the same scale, usually percentage before combining. Ensure all the final grade is fair and accurate, regardless of differences in point totals or assessment types. According to Popham and combining weighted scores, Popham advises that scores should only be mathematically combined, added average weighted, if they measure the same learning construct, meaning they assess the same knowledge, skills, or performance. Example, combining two math quizzes that both measure algebra skills. So, if you combine math quiz and science lab report, it is not appropriate. If assessment measure different skills or outcomes, they should not be combined using simple arithmetic. Instead, teachers can keep the grades separate, showing distinct performance for each area. Use rubric-based judgment to combine scores, thoughtfully considering quality and mastery rather than just numbers. According to Macmillan is flexible about how scores are combined to determine a final grade. He suggested using averaging, total points, standard-based rubrics, depending on the nature of assessment or the learning goals. According to Miller encouraged teachers to use clear and systematic procedure for combining scores. Example, weighted averaging, giving more important assessment high weight. Second is point system, assessing point values to each task and totaling them. And the third is standard-based performance level, grading based on how well students meet specific standards. In short, Macmillan flexible methods depending on assessment type and learning goals, while Miller is use clear systematic methods to ensure fairness and accuracy in grading. Implications for teachers: align assessments with learning outcomes before placing them into a grading system. Second is explain weights clearly to students at the beginning of the quarter. And the third is avoid grade contaminants unless school policy requires otherwise. The fourth is use multiple data sources for a more valid composite grade. And the last one is use professional judgment, not just arithmetic formulas when combining grades. That's all. Thank you.